The true story of the three little pigs. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I am the wolf, Alex D. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. They just stay the way they are. If they were cheeseburgers, folks would probably think that you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time land, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny, and I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind builds a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, I fell right in. I didn't want to walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. It was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. But that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, and I huffed and I snuffed. And I blew her house down with a sneeze. And do you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down, and in the middle of the pile of straw was my first little pig. That is the doornail. He'd been home after all. It seems a shame to leave a perfectly good harm dinner pig lying in the straw, so I ate him up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger lying there. I was feeling a little better, and I didn't have a cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother, and he was a little smarter, but not much. He had built a house of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm saving the hair on my chinny chin chin. I just grabbed the doorbell when I felt another sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great big sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down too, just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig. Dead as a doornail in the wolf's honor. Now, you know, food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and the second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built the house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house and no answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And you know what the rude little pig answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had the whole sack full of sugar. He didn't have even one cup of sugar for my dear old sweet granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt a cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again, and the third little pig said, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, they say, is history. I'm the big bad wolf. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to butter a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story, I was framed. And maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar.